student. Again, this is Professor Amolya Kalekar from Department of Computer Science, CMCS, Yotna. In today's session, we are going to discuss the next point in unit number 4 of subject Distributed Database System, and the title of our today's discussion is the Distributed File System Implementation, and within that we will see two important points. First one is the replication and second one is the update protocol. तो दोस्तों आज के सेशन में अपन इस डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड फाइल सिस्टम इंप्लीमेंटेशन में के जो रिमेनिंग पॉइंट्स है वो देखेंगे, दैट इज रेप्लिकेशन और अपडेट प्रोटोकॉल्स। शायद आपको याद होगा इसके जो पहले सेशन थे उस सेशन में अपन ने कैचिंग और कैच कंसिस्टेंसी इन दो पॉइंट्स को ध्यान में रखा था। इन दो पॉइंट्स को अपन ने स्टडी किया था। ओके, तो जो कैचिंग है या फिर कैच कंसिस्टेंसी होता है वो कैसे किया जाता है, उनके लिए या फिर उन दोनों पॉइंट्स के लिए कौन कौन से एल्गोरिथम्स यूज किए जाते हैं, इन सभी चीजों के बारे में जानकारी अपन ने प्रीवियस दो सेशन में ली है। आज के सेशन में अपन इस डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड फाइल सिस्टम इंप्लीमेंटेशन का जो नेक्स्ट पोर्शन है दैट इज रेप्लिकेशन और अपडेट प्रोटोकॉल, इसके बारे में जानकारी लेंगे। तो दोस्तों शुरू करते हैं पहला पॉइंट, दैट इज दी रेप्लिकेशन। सिंपल लैंग्वेज में रेप्लिकेशन का मतलब होता है कॉपीज बनाना या फिर स्नैपशॉट बनाना। मतलब अगर आपको एक पर्टिकुलर चीज फ्रीक्वेंटली अलग अलग लोकेशन या फिर साइट पे यूज करने के लिए चाहिए, ऑपरेशंस या फिर वर्किंग के लिए चाहिए, सो instead of creating the same file on the another location, we can just take the copy or snapshot of the same file or the target file so that it can be copied or replicated on the another location, और इसी चीज को कहा जाता है replication. So students, this distributed file system often provide the file replication as a service to their respective clients. In other words, multiple copies of the selected files are maintained with each copy on a separate file server. Now, the main reason for offering such a service vary, but among the major reasons are: first one, to increase the reliability by having the independent backup of each file. Second reason is to allow the file access to occur even if one file server goes down. And the third reason is to split the workload over the multiple servers. So by having these three different reasons, we are just provided with the technique that is called as the replication. Now, amongst these three techniques, the first two relates to improve the reliability and availability, whereas the third one concerns about the performance of your overall system. Okay. Now, a key issue that is relating to replication is the transparency. That is, to what extent are the users aware that some files are replicated? Again, do they play any role in the replication process, or it is handled entirely by the system automatically? At the one extreme, the users are fully aware of the replication process and even can control it. And at the other end, the system does everything behind the backs, or you can say behind the scene, and is called as the replication transparency. तो इस हिसाब से क्या किया जाता है, हर रेप्लिकेशन प्रक्रिया को ट्रांसपेरेंट रखने की कोशिश की जाती है, so that the users as well as the system can know what exactly is going on. Okay. Now, in the above figure, we can see three different ways of replication. Now, the first way shown in the figure A is for the programmer to control the entire process of replication. पहली जो फिगर है जिसमें प्रोग्रामर रेप्लिकेशन की प्रक्रिया को खुद कंट्रोल कर रहा है. अगेन, व्हेन अ प्रोसेस मेक्स अ फाइल, it does so on one specific server, then it can make the additional copies on other servers if there are the requirements. Again, if the directory server permits the multiple copies of the file, the network addresses of all the copies can be then associated with the particular name. Okay. Now, in the figure B, in the figure B, we can see the lazy replication. Here, only one copy of each file is created on the some server. Still, the server itself makes the replicas on the other servers automatically without the knowledge of the programmer. And the last method that can be visualized with the figure C. Now, you can see with the figure C. In this scheme, all the write system calls are simultaneously transmitted to all the servers at once, so extra copies are made at the same time the original is made. There is two principal differences between the lazy replication and using the groups. The first, with the lazy replication, one server is addressed rather than a group. And the second difference is the lazy replication happens in the background when the server has some free टाइम. तो ये जो अलग अलग डिफरेंसेस है लेजी रेप्लिकेशंस में और ग्रुप सिस्टम्स में. ओके, नाउ जो नेक्स्ट पॉइंट यहाँ पे आता है वो है अपडेट प्रोटोकॉल. नाउ इन दिस सेक्शन वी विल सी हाउ द एग्जिस्टिंग फाइल कैन बी मॉडिफाइड. पहला जो सेक्शन था उसमें अपन ने फाइल को कैसे तैयार किया जाता है और उसमें कौन कौन से ऑपरेशंस परफॉर्म किए जा सकते हैं, इसका एक बेसिक प्लेटफॉर्म या फिर आइडिया अपन ने लिया. अब इस अपडेट प्रोटोकॉल्स में फाइल्स को कैसे मॉडिफाई किया जाता है इसके बारे में अपन जानकारी लेंगे. Okay, now just sending an update message to each copy in sequence is not a good idea, because if the process doing the update goes down part away through, some copies will be changed and the others are not. Okay, now as a consequence, the future reads may let the old values and the others may get the new value. Now the first one is called as the primary copy replication. When it is used, one server is designated as the primary and others are said to be the secondary, or you can say the subordinates. Now here, when the replicated file is to be updated, the change is sent to the primary server, which will make the change locally and then sends the command to the secondary or the rest of the servers, ordering them to just convert or just adopt those kind of changes too. Okay. Although this method is straightforward, it has the advantages, or you can say the disadvantages as well. Now the disadvantage is that if the primary is down, that is the main server is down, no updates can be performed. Now to get around this problem, Gifford in 1979 proposed a more robust method that is known as the voting. मतलब ये जो प्राइमरी कॉपी वाला सर्वर अगर डाउन होता है तो उस सिचुएशन को टैकल या फिर हैंडल करने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए, इसके लिए गिफोर्ड ने 1979 में एक algorithm suggest किया जिसका नाम है voting. Now the basic idea is to require the client to request and acquire the permission of multiple servers before either reading or writing a replicated file. As a simple example of how this algorithm works, suppose that a file is replicated on n number of servers. Now here we could make a rule stating that or stating that to update a file, a client must first contact at least half of the server plus one and get then agree to do the update. Once they have agreed, the file is changed and a new version number is associated with the new file. Now this version number is used to identify the version of the file and is the name and it will be same for all the newly updated files. So this is the important thing as far as the voting is concerned. Now if there are file server, for example, and a client determines that all of them have the version 8, it is impossible that the others have the version 9. After all, any successful update from the version 8 to version 9 requires getting 3 servers to agree to it, not only 2. For this reason, Gifford's scheme is actually somewhat more general than this particular problem. In it, to read a file of which n copies exist, a client needs to assemble a read quorum and arbitrary correction of any NR servers or more. Here again, similarly, in order to modify a file, a write quorum of all in new NW servers is required. Now, the values NR and NW are subject to the constraint, that is NR plus NW will be greater than N, and only after appropriate number of servers has agreed to the participate can a file be read or written. मतलब इस तरीके से ये स्कीम काम करेंगी, that is only after the appropriate number of servers has agreed to participate can a file will be read or it will be written. Okay, so this is the way how this actually works. So these three examples of porting algorithm. Now consider, for example, NR equals to 3 and NW equals to 10. And imagine that the most recent write quorum consisted of 10 servers C through 1. Now all of these get new version and the new version number as well. Any subsequent read quorum of 3 servers will have to contain at least one member of this particular set. Now again, when the client looks at the version number, it will know which is the most recent and will take automatically that particular version number. Okay. So students, this is how actually the replication and the system update is done with the help of distributed file system implementation. तो कहने का मतलब इतना ही कि जब आप डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड फाइल सिस्टम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करते हैं तो उसके लिए आपको सबसे पहले कैचिंग कैसे किया जाता है वो पता चाहिए, कैच कंसिस्टेंसी कैसे होती है वो आपको पता चाहिए, एंड देन आफ्टर यू शुड नो अबाउट द replication as well as the system update. Okay, thank you.